This is an introductory tutorial for FEA. The purpose of this tutorial is to introduce you to the basic concepts of finite element analysis. A structure like this is easily analyzed with conventional engineering techniques, but what if the structure gets more complicated? In real-life situations, structures can be unexpectedly complex. Beam theory in essence is analyzed with two nodes of interest. This is one dimension. The usual shear force and bending moment diagrams can be used for the design. Now looking at two dimensions, a shell is described. With the length and width, there are four nodes to make up the element. Three dimensions will naturally involve more nodes. It is also important to realize that beam elements can also be used to represent structures in 2D and 3D. As an example, let's analyze the joint at point A. Beam properties will have the information regarding the section width, height, thickness, etc. Now, the height and width of the beam section is represented by the shell model, but the thickness will be defined by the shell properties. Now, the full geometric shape of the structure is represented by the nodes and elements. An element represents a stiffness of the body like a selection of springs between two nodes as a function of the material properties, applied constraints, and shape of the structure. With the force as a known value, the finite element software calculates the displacement experienced. The strain and finally the stress is derived. Therefore, a relationship is established between the deformation and the stress experienced. Going back to our complex structure, a mesh is applied all over the beam. 1D, 2D, or 3D elements can be used depending on the particular needs of the project. Can you see now that we have many points of reference on the beam? The elements communicate with each other via the nodes. The nodes displace due to the loads transferred between elements. This results in stresses throughout the element. These are some of the most common types of element shapes. This concludes the introductory tutorial. This tutorial was brought to you by ESTEC, Engineering Technology for Better Business.